Just remember, keep your hands and feet moving together. If your fingers stop moving, those feet better stop right away." She gave a little laugh. "Boy, it's a good thing I'm not one of your students, Lucy," Kelly said as she leaned back into her chair and swirled the last of the coffee in her ever-present mug. "I would never get it. I swear I wouldn't. That yarn would twist so fast it'd wrap all of us in a knot." "Stop that, Kelly," Megan chided. "Don't make me laugh while I'm spinning." "I'm not trying to be funny," Kelly said after she drained her coffee. "I'd screw up the wool so badly, the spinning wheel would break, and Bert would never speak to me again." "Why wouldn't I speak to you, Kelly? Have you been messing with my spinning wheel?" Bert spoke from the classroom doorway that led into Kelly's favorite knitting shop, House of Lambspun. Kelly turned to see Bert Parker, retired cop, and now spinner par excellence, grinning as he carried a huge bag of multicolored fleeces into the adjacent room. "Your spinning wheel is safe from me, Bert," Kelly said as she crossed her heart. "Knitting provides enough challenges. Heck, I still discover new mistakes to make." "All right, that's enough for today," Lucy announced. "You should be proud of yourselves. You've done really well. Keep practicing. I have 2 more classes this week, so drop in any time." "Hey, I can't quit now," Anne said with a good-natured laugh. "I've finally got my feet and hands together." Kelly joined the others' laughter as she checked her watch. A quick review of her mental day timer reminded Kelly she could visit with her friends for a little longer before racing across the driveway to her cottage and back to client accounting demands. She learned that consulting had its definite benefits as well as its pitfalls, and the ticking clock inside her head that kept her on schedule all those years in the CPA firm was still ticking now that she was working on her own. "Got time for more coffee?" Megan asked as she stuffed the pink woolen bobbin into her knitting bag. "I've always got time for coffee." "I haven't seen you before, Kelly. Have you been in town long?" Ellen asked as she placed the bobbin from her wheel into her knitting bag. "Well, not exactly," Kelly replied. "I grew up in Fort Connor and came back last April for my aunt's funeral. I've been here ever since." She gave a short laugh. Had it really been only 9 months since she'd returned to her childhood home? It seemed like much longer. So much had happened. "We refused to let her leave," Megan said, shifting her bag to her shoulder. "Plus, she plays on our softball team during the season, so she's committed now. This is home, right, Kelly?" "Absolutely." "Well, nice to meet you, Kelly," Ellen said with a bright smile, extending her hand. "I'm Ellen Hunter, and I'm new to this shop. Lucy told me about the spinning class, and I decided to join. We met in a neighborhood coffee house one night when we both brought our knitting." Ellen brushed her wavy blonde hair off her face as she laughed. "I was afraid to try spinning, but Lucy is such a good teacher, I figured I'd give it a try. She's helped me a lot with my knitting." "Lucy's a wonderful teacher," Megan said as she headed through the doorway, Kelly and Ellen following. "She's as good as Bert, and almost as good as Mimi." "Whoa, high praise," Kelly said. Mimi Schaefer was the knitting shop owner and resident yarn and knitting sage. In her late 50s, Mimi also took a motherly interest in Kelly and her friends, especially in Kelly's frequent forays into investigative activities. Sleuthing, Mimi called it. Ellen turned in the doorway and waved at Lucy, who was still helping Anne. "See you later, Lucy. Why don't you call me tonight? Unless you've got another hot date, that is." Lucy glanced up, and a bright pink flush colored her cheeks. She gave a quick wave and turned back to her student. "Sounds like a boyfriend," Kelly said as they entered the knitting shop's central yarn room, noticing it was more crowded than usual for a weekday morning. "Oh, yeah. Lucy's over the moon in love with this guy she's been seeing for the last few months," Ellen said, pausing to fondle a ball of cherry red yarn atop a pile of lollipop colors. "She goes out to his ranch all